10 years ago, Universal announced that they were going to cancel any more Brendan Fraser related Mummy movies and decided to instead remake The Mummy a second time. This resulted in the 2017 remake with Tom Cruise, and we all know how that movie turned out. However, this movie could have been very different. I remember seeing an article back in 2014 that the synopsis for the movie had been leaked online, and I recently got my hands on a PDF of the early script, which proves that this leak was real. While the script does not have an exact date, Scriptfly dates this to November of 2013, which was about a year and a half after the announcement of the remake. The script also does not have a title page, but does have an essay to explain the historical background of the Mummy character featured in the script that was written by John Spades. Spades was one of the many writers connected to the 2017 remake. So here's what the 2017 Mummy was going to be about, and there are a few similarities to the final movie that got made. The story begins with a group of Navy SEALs in Iraq being led by Tyler Colt. They enter into what they think is a bunker for terrorists, but turns out to be an ancient tomb with dead grave robbers. It does not take long for some of the SEALs to get possessed and start attacking everyone else. In the chaos, Tyler touches the sarcophagus inside and receives disturbing visions that he will suffer throughout the rest of the story. Tyler manages to escape the tomb and becomes a drifter for the next few years. He is then recruited by Colonel Forrester to lead a military group to retrieve the sarcophagus that he found 2 years ago. While this happens, Forrester gets an archaeologist named Jenny Halsey to go along with the mission. When they arrive, they find the sarcophagus, and Jenny figures out that inside is the body of the Assyrian king Ashurnabal, but for the rest of this video, I'm just going to refer to him as Ash so I don't mispronounce his name constantly. They snag the sarcophagus, but then they get attacked by local warlords on their way to the C-17 aircraft. They manage to fly away, but the warlord of the group calls a mysterious man in Europe that the tomb has been raided. Tyler goes to sleep as Jenny does research. After falling asleep and going through another vision, Tyler wakes up and finds out that the aircraft has encountered a storm with a flock of crows crashing into the C-17 and with lightning striking at the same time. Tyler, Jenny, and Forrester parachute out of the C-17 as it crashes into the city of Rome. After the C-17 crashes, the Mummy character Ash rises from it, and this is how the script describes him. Out of the wreckage crawls the Mummy, skin black as tar, body wasted to the bone. It rises to its feet, gaunt and terrible. A fantastic lightning display shreds the sky behind it. Broken tubes of bronze jit from the Mummy's throat, wrists and chest. Jagged pipes of ancient forging. A flash of pale teeth in his slitted mouth. Black eyes glitter. Forrester confesses that he's part of a secret special weapons division and wanted to study what was inside the sarcophagus. To protect themselves from supernatural attacks, Jenny inks a protective symbol onto the chest of these men, and they go after Ash. As Ash drains locals of their life energy to rejuvenate himself, he makes his way to the Vatican and kills some priests there. Forrester dies trying to kill Ash, but Tyler and Jenny escape from the secret storage room where Ash was looking for his crown and sword. After they escape to the safety of a barge where a party is being held, Jenny explains to Tyler that the sword will destroy armies and that the crown will make him command the dead. Jenny then contacts a collector named Lorenzo Montanari who has a sword, and when they arrive, they get tied up due to Lorenzo being mad at Jenny for gypping him from a previous deal that they had. But then Ash shows up again and hypnotizes Lorenzo to serve him. Tyler and Jenny escape with the sword, but Ash places the crown on his head and his powers increase. Tyler and Jenny then go to Istanbul to find out what was mentioned of the brothers of the rebel temple that Lorenzo was talking about. After they arrive, they meet their leader Malik, who comes from a long line of warriors and priests who descended from the Egyptian priests who cursed Ash, and having made special weapons to fight supernatural threats. He also explains why the Assyrian king has the Egyptian label as the mummy is that when Ash conquered Egypt thousands of years ago, he forced the priest to perform a ritual to make him all-powerful, but the priest double-crossed him and cursed him to be in his current state. If Ash gets the sword and the crown, he can open the gates of hell and let demons into the world while Ash rules over it. Ash then rampages across the city, takes the sword and Jenny, and escapes on Lorenzo's yacht. On the yacht, Ash hypnotizes Jenny to read the incantations when they arrive at the location for him to become all-powerful. Tyler, Malik, and the Temple brothers then figure out where Ash is going and take a helicopter over to a military base located in Iraq. Ash attacks American and Iraqi soldiers with a supernatural sword and enters the cave that leads into the underworld where the military base happened to be at. Before Tyler fights Ash and saves Jenny, Jenny's associate Professor Shepard arrives. He informs Tyler that Ash is killable during the middle of the ritual. As Malik, his temple brothers, and the remaining soldiers fight the hordes of demons coming out of the underworld, Tyler rushes to stop Ash. Using one of the special swords made by Malik's men, Tyler has a sword fight with Ash while he is mortal. Around the time when Lorenzo gets killed by demons, Tyler kills Ash in the sword fight and pushing him into a sea of fire shortly after. The movie ends with Tyler and Jenny becoming a couple and investigating an archaeological site in the Mediterranean Sea. Elements of the script did make it to the final movie, such as the main character having a military background, and a few of the names in the script appearing in the final movie. In addition, I also saw shades of the 1999 remake of The Mummy, with the protagonist being a fighter and his love interest being more into academia, as well as the Temple brothers being very similar to the Magi warriors who protected the city of Hamunaptra. Please let me know what you thought of this script or the 2017 remake of The Mummy. So anyway, this is Tyler from End Credit Reviews. Please like and subscribe.